We're in Whistler, British Columbia tonight. Earlier from Vancouver, Duncan McHugh reported on a memorial march held for missing and murdered women from Vancouver's downtown east side. Sarah Jean DeVries was one of those women. She went missing when her daughter, Jeannie, was 6 years old. Now Jeannie is 19 and speaking publicly for the first time.
I am Sarah Jean DeVries Jr., daughter of Sarah Jean DeVries Sr., who was one of the missing women in Vancouver's downtown east side. I was 12, and I found this video, and it had my mom's name on it, so I decided to watch it. And the first thing I saw was my mom's arm, and it was all covered in blood, and she had the needle, and she was shooting heroin. You're not supposed to see that ever. It's not normal. And no child should have to see their mother doing that. But I think, in a way, I'm glad I saw the video. I think I was just happy to see her, even if she was doing heroin. It was a chance to see her again. I'm the granddaughter of Patricia DeVries. From the moment I was born, I've been in custody of my grandmother. I've never lived with my mother or my father. I've always been with my grandmother.
I feel like a Linus blanket with Jeannie, the secure thing. The thing you snuggle into, but you can also chew on the corner of it. You can wrap it around your neck, or you can stamp on it if you're mad, but it's always there.
This is my sister Sarah. This is a picture that I had blown up.
I am the niece of Maggie DeVries, author and motivational speaker.
I knew that I was going to be doing some talking, and I wanted Sarah with me because I knew that many of the words that I would speak would be her words, not my words.
I love my Aunt Maggie. I think that what she's doing is really good.
I wrote a book about my sister, Sarah, who's one of the murdered women from the downtown east side. The book is called Missing Sarah, a memoir of loss.
They think that because they pay for you, they can treat you like a sex tool. They think because they paid for it, you aren't going to tell anybody. They think because you're a hooker, you don't feel any emotions, you don't feel any pain. You're just doing it for the money, and you don't feel anything, but you do. I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for everybody else. You know, they do. They are human, they feel, and just because you are paying them money doesn't mean you can treat them like total shit, because they have feelings too. So that's Sarah at 17, talking about her life, and I think doing it very, very well.
There's no way I'll ever fully understand how my Aunt Maggie feels, or my grandmother, and there's no way they could understand how I feel, because all our relationships with her were very different.
Sarah came into our family when she was 11 months old. She was adopted. She was 8 years younger than I am.
They remember little smiling 2-year-old Sarah who tugged on their legs and played with toys and went to the beach and built sandcastles. And I remember a person who was an addict, who I didn't talk to a lot, who I didn't know how to act around. So it was just very different.
Your mom was so happy in those pictures. She was just so happy. And you were the result of this partnership, and this is one of the only time that they got together in a safe place with you there, and she got her picture taken in this pose of the happy trio, the sort of nuclear family thing. That's the only time she ever made it, was right there that day.
They were interviewing a lot of people because a lot of people were dying from drug overdoses, and Sarah agreed to talk to the CBC, and so
It just drives you crazy. I went to jail for a while ago for 6 months, and they made me put cold turkey, and it was. I would rather be dead.
You don't care about dying?
No. Strange to say, but not really.
You're telling me that the craving for the drug is way stronger.
Was this before I was born?
no. You were, what, probably 2.5, maybe?
That was nice of her to say she doesn't care if she dies.
Well,
Okay, well, you can play it again.
she means, she doesn't really mean she doesn't care if she dies. She means that she needs the drugs so much. Yeah, you're right there. You can see. She needs the drugs so much that she can't think about dying. She has to just think about getting the drugs. She can't worry about dying.
My sister went missing from the downtown east side in Vancouver on April 14th, 1998. Her DNA was found on Robert Victon's property in Port Coquitlam in August 2002. A murder charge was laid against him in her case in 2005. The last time that Jeannie and Sarah saw each other was in the summer of '97, when Jeannie came to Vancouver to visit. So Jeannie was 6. She would turn 7 that December.
I started thinking about how she was never there, and I didn't know how to act around her at all. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know what to do. So I was just frustrated with her. So I told her I was frustrated with her, and I told her she wasn't much of a mother. And then I said I'd rather not have a mother. And then I ran away. And I got to it was like a cliff, and there was a drop off. And I looked out over the ocean, and I wished I didn't have a mother.
And I went after her and found her sitting at the top of a sort of a cliff down to the water, very, very, very upset.
But I always felt that it was partly my fault that she went missing. If I hadn't have said that, then maybe she'd still be here. I know it's not my fault, but it kind of feels like it. It's funny, all the things that she liked to do and like doing are things that I like to do and like doing. She loved to read, she loved to draw, she loved acting, and she loved swimming, she liked horseback riding. She liked writing. She wrote a lot. Poems, short stories. And those are all things I love to do. If I could do them all at once, that'd be awesome.
The one person she is identified with so much is a person who is now dead, violently dead. And she has to identify with that and yet separate herself. And I think that's desperately hard. But she's getting there. Slow process, but she's getting there.
Because we're so similar, I feel like if she was still alive, we'd have a deeper connection to each other, and we'd understand each other, maybe. But I like it. I like being like her. And I like knowing that I'm like her, because in some ways it's like she's still here, and what she liked doing is still here.
Jeannie DeVries is currently finishing high school in Guelph, Ontario. She regularly auditions for singing roles in local musicals, and she hopes to have a career in theater one day. Well, straight ahead on the National, the Year of the Tiger.